Today, we are getting into becoming a paid speaker. I want you to pay attention and lean in if you are a woman, if you are black, if you are brown, if you are queer, because we have a crisis. I don't think anybody else is aware of this, but I'm here to tell you we have a problem, okay? In the United States alone, it's something crazy and scary. Like 35% of all paid speakers are women. That is such a tiny fraction. And then when you start thinking about the number who are black women or the number who are queer people, the numbers are tiny, like abysmal. Like, I know we have voices. I know we have powerful things to say. And yet the number of us who are actual paid speakers is so small. Why does that matter?
Hey, welcome to Love on Stage. I'm Mahokhodi. If you're ready to make sales and spark action when you speak, this is your place. I've helped dozens of leaders choose courage over comfort by speaking with confidence and love, especially in tough conversations. Because listen, public speaking isn't just a thing that you do on stage. It's what you do every time you deliver a work presentation, when you interview for that plump job you deserve, when you negotiate your salary, and every time you sweat bullets during a big pitch. That's all public speaking. It's time to level up your storytelling because your story matters. So, you ready to speak like a boss? Let's get into your most powerful story.
Let me just sum it up this way. The people that we put as authority figures on stages, the people that our corporations are bringing in and paying and getting other executives to listen to, right? That matters so deeply because it shapes our culture, because it shapes our economy. Those executives, those are the people who are in decision-making positions when things are being decided at a company level. Like, this is America, corporates kind of run the show. So if the people who are in the ear of those executives are only one kind of person, Houston, we got a problem. We've got a major, serious problem. And think of it like this. You read the newspaper all the time you read newspaper. The opinion pages of the newspapers that you read, especially the big major newspapers, that matters, honey. It shapes public policy. It shapes, like I said, business. It shapes even classrooms. How many times when you were a student did your professor say something like, bring in an article from such and such a newspaper? For me, it was all of them. So bring in an article from the New York Times, bring in something from Wall Street Journal, bring in something from the Washington Post, and a couple more that we may not necessarily be reading every single day, like USA Today, right? And let's compare notes across the board. What happens to our young people and their ideas if all of those opinion pieces are written by one kind of person? What happens is it's a mess. And we need to change that. It has started happening in the opinion pages because, again, somebody recognized this thing is broken and we need to do something and include all kinds of voices. But it definitely needs to start happening on stages. We need you. We need your voice. We need your story. Yes, we need you to do it in the platforms that you have right now. But if you're the kind of person who's committed to also making money while you speak, this is the video for you. Hang around and we're gonna get into it. All right, thank you for coming to my TED Talk. Define your niche. Be really clear on who it is that you serve, why you serve them, and how you uniquely serve them. You have to think about this. Getting up on a stage and speaking, that's not just about like looking cute and like saying things. That's about adding value to somebody in your audience. So you have to be very, very clear around the idea of, is it a student that you're adding value to? Is it an executive who you're adding value to? Is it a nonprofit leader who you're adding value to? And what is it about your messaging that is adding something that makes their life better? Maybe you're informing them about something that they didn't know. Maybe you're inspiring them to think in a new way. If you're funny, don't underestimate that, because that is often like a double whammy. You're delivering information, but you're also inspiring me and you're creating some feel-good vibes. So see how you're doing, like all of the things. My point is, when you get up on stage, you have to add value and have to be pretty clear about who you're adding value to. Number two, you're serious about becoming a paid speaker? Network. Think of LinkedIn as the place where you meet all of your potential paychecks, okay? You really want to be strategic in how you position your LinkedIn, and think about your LinkedIn as like, if somebody lands on this page, do they see the value that I would be able to add to this particular, to them, right? And their audience. Do they understand where I've spoken before and how I can bring that yummy juiciness to their particular audience? Do I make it easy for people to contact me? These are things that you can also think about on your website, but I want you to think about LinkedIn particularly because so much of the market is already on there. And I'll give you a tip right now. If you're interested in speaking at the collegiate level, you're probably reaching out to people who work in administration, people like the student life director, people like the dean of student life, or maybe a dean of a different faculty. You're also, if you're speaking to corporate, most of the people that you want to reach out to, they're there as well. HR, for example. And you want to be both doing outreach, like reaching out to these people yourself, but you also want to create some incoming. And incoming also happens when you go to networking events for your particular niche industry. So you want to be thinking really strategically about networking. Who do you need to be in a room with? And once you're in a room with them, how do you position yourself so they see you as a speaker? And seeing you as a speaker isn't just like standing there with a nice mic and looking all cute. It's showing them some of the receipts. Where have you spoken before? Can you share a clip with us? And that brings me to number three. Create a reel, create some assets that help people see and imagine you in their place of, where the audience is, where they're like, oh yeah, for sure, I can definitely imagine Mahokodi standing in front of these students and just squashing it and just bringing it. Make it easy for people to see that. So when they go to your website, does the reel come up as the very first thing? What is a reel? It is a 1 minute, preferably at the very most 90-second clip that just shows you speaking. You need to put yourself in the position of somebody who is buying something from you. They're buying a service, right? Remember, we're trying to become paid speakers. And you need to show the customer, here's what the product is. Here's what the service is. Part of that is also showing them happy customers. So here's what people who have brought this particular service, here's what they look like, and here's what they have to say about how amazing that product was. If you have testimonials, fantastic. Use them. Put them on your website. Put them in your reels. That's fantastic. If you can get somebody in real time on a mic to say how great you are, put that stuff in your reel, okay? So we want to show people our receipts. I am a speaker. I have done this before. And you giving them confidence that when you stand in front of their audience, you are going to deliver, and they have made the right decision for their organization. Number three, and I think this is a little counterintuitive. I don't want you to spend way too much time on this because honestly, you don't need to be published to become a paid speaker, but it is brilliant marketing. If you're already working on a book, if maybe you're self-publishing something, if you have an article that you're working on, right? It doesn't have to be like the biggest, baddest tome that's published in your name. Could just be an article. Use what you have that is published and get yourself published. Begin where you are in order to become a paid speaker. I'll tell you two things. Number one, it helps you play in traffic. So if you're writing essays, that actually might be the most powerful place to start. Speak directly to your audience and try to publish your piece in a place where you know your potential customer hangs out. So if you're speaking to college students, that's your target market of who you'd like to address, you really need to think, okay, where do these administrators hang out? What are the publications that they're reading? Can I get published there? Maybe it's a post on LinkedIn because a lot of people read those, right? But maybe it's if you're an alumni at that school, maybe it's the magazine, maybe it's the university magazine that goes out every month. I want you to be really strategic and think about how you get published and where you get published and how that can further your speaking career. Well, I am a published author. This is my gorgeous, she's so pretty. This is my gorgeous lady, Innards. I published this, it's a short story collection. And when I'm reaching out to universities, this little lady always makes a star appearance. Why? Because universities care a great deal about people being published, and specifically published books. And there's so many departments to which this is just a natural fit. So I'm thinking about English departments, I'm thinking about creative writing faculties, I'm thinking about anybody who cares about humanities and literature. Having this in hand, it's just a calling card. And I want you to think strategically about your own niche, about your own industry, and what is it you have in hand that is published material. Like I said, do not underestimate the power of a good article that gets you in the door as well. You do all of these beautiful steps, people start reaching out to you and they want to pay you. You do not want to recreate a fresh talk every single time somebody comes to you. You also, quite frankly, don't want to run the kind of business where you need to go and sit down and think for 5 days what the project outline and proposal is going to be to your potential client every single time you get on the phone with a potential client. That, like, we can't be doing that, okay? We cannot be doing that. Not in these years where there's so much demands on us. You have a lot going on, okay? You deserve your rest. Like, I'm not trying to do that to you. I want you to work smarter, not harder. And the way that you do that with talks is you create a framework. So you think about, what is your personal story? What is your signature story? And how does it relate to the value, remember that you're trying to impart to your audience? If you're interested in building out a signature story in a really powerful way, I do have, by the way, a course that is on waitlist. If you're interested, look it up. It's in the description box below this video, and I will let you know as soon as it's available. Like I said, though, the importance of a signature story within a framework, that's nothing to snuff at. And it's so important once you start building momentum and becoming a paid speaker, but not just one, not just like once in a while, but all of the time. Trust me, you're going to need a way to speak that you can, it's like you're building modules on top of each other, and it makes your life very simple. It also makes it easy for the client. So number one, they know what to expect. But number two, for you, it's protection, because once you have a really solid framework, you can also put some intellectual property around it, okay? I'm gonna leave you with this because I think it's self-evident, but let's just say it. If you want to become a paid speaker and have clients reach out to you, you have to practice. Like, my friend, you're gonna have to practice. You're gonna have to work maybe with a coach who helps strengthen your signature story and your framework. Again, if that's something that you're interested in, there are links below. Hit me up. I would love to have that conversation with you. But my point is, no matter where you are, find a way, find an audience that you can begin practicing with. And I'm not saying it has to be for free. You can definitely start charging people something that is nominal as you get your chops up, as you're collecting all of your assets, but you have to begin practicing the work of speaking. Another tip is you could begin practicing right here on YouTube. If you commit to being here on a very particular schedule, whatever works for you, maybe it's once a month, maybe it's once a week, trust me, this is going to improve your public speaking skills, hands down. And I have a whole video that walks you through some of the tips that are specific to YouTubers and how to become a better speaker when you're on YouTube. I also have another video that walks you through why and how to get started today on your YouTube. So check those out. I hope that this has been helpful. I really am looking forward to all of your wealth, all of your success as a paid speaker in this upcoming year. If any of these tools have been useful, please let me know in comments, and let me know as well in comments if there's anything specific that you're looking for as a paid speaker in this particular work. Thank you for being here.
Was that useful? You want to go even deeper? I'd love to support you. My coaching program can help you make money and spark action whenever you speak with intention. Book time to chat using the link in the description box below. Also, leave a comment if this video offered something you needed to hear today, or if you have a question you want me to unpack in next week's episode. Fresh episodes drop every Thursday at 12 p.m. Eastern. Hit subscribe to get a notification so you never miss a beat. Thank you so much for being here. I want you to know that your story matters. And I'm here to help you stand out from the stage to the page.